Hi, welcome to our channel True Up. These days, TSMC is having a lot of issues. First, in order to reduce their reliance on TSMC, the United States and Japan are planning to collaborate to produce chips with a minimum size of 2 nanometers. Immediately after, with its 2 nanometers innovation, Intel also plans to oust Apple, TSMC's biggest client. The push to get to 2 nanometers from all sides led TSMC to declare directly 1.4 nanometers this year. The fact that a new round of the chip manufacturing rivalry is about to begin is undeniable. Is TSMC's position as the dominant player in the chip foundry industry truly that open to challenge? In addition, given that the partnership between Apple and TSMC has recently improved, is it really conceivable for Apple to leave TSMC at this time? Is it really conceivable for Apple to leave TSMC at this moment and switch to Samsung or Intel when their relationship with TSMC has been growing stronger and better recently? Please subscribe to our channel before we begin the video we have today so that we can urge you to watch more of them. Okay, let's keep discussing about this subject. In order to counter the threat posed by Intel's 2-nanometer technology breakthrough to compete for Apple's new generation of processors and to continue to maintain a competitive edge in wafer foundries, TSMC decided to shift its 3 R&D team to 1.4 nanometers development. This process will be introduced into mass production in August of this year. It is anticipated to begin in June, marking TSMC's entry into the 1-nanometer era and opening a new chapter in its history. Wei Zhijia, president of TSMC, said that the business is still conducting research and development on its 2 nanometers technology during the recent financial report meeting. According to the preliminary plan, the trial production will be at the end of 2024, and the fastest will be placed into mass production in 2025. However, Intel has previously stated that it will finish designing the Intel 18A, 1.8 nanometers, processor in the second part of this year, pushing back the intended mass production date from 2025 to 2024. This reveals the reason behind TSMC's worries. To make matters worse, the governments of the United States and Japan aim to collaborate in order to produce chips smaller than 2 nanometers because they are worried about the excessive reliance on Taiwan for cutting-edge semiconductors. From a particular vantage point, it appears to be an attempt to de-TSM the system. If this occurs, its significance and effects should be considered. After the trade conflict and technological conflict between China and the US, semiconductor significance was suddenly realized by all nations. Even though the United States is already at the forefront of technology, it has been discovered that Taiwan, South Korea, and Middle Eastern nations and regions dominate semiconductor manufacture. In order to improve its own semiconductor production, it has started. The US not only enacted a semiconductor subsidy budget of more than $50 billion, compelling TSMC to invest there to establish a factory using the 5 nanometers process. Japan also persuaded TSMC to establish a plant in Kyushu, but the production is not a state-of-the-art 10 to 20 nanometer process. However, the United States and Japan believe that this is insufficient and are uneasy. For starters, TSMC's most advanced production process is still in Taiwan. In addition to the 3-nanometer plant, which will be mass-produced in the second part of the year, investment in the 2-nanometer factory has commenced, with major production slated for 2025. However, the most advanced semiconductor technology frequently includes military usage. To further examine US and Japanese approaches, I believe they may have many considerations. For starters, high-end semiconductors are concentrated in Taiwan. Sure, the risks are overly concentrated, and diversification is required. Second, in terms of production stability and energy, Taiwan's semiconductor production may soon face water and electrical supply issues. Last year, photographs showing huge lines of water trucks in front of the TSMC facility were circulated in international financial media, prompting the US to reconsider its risks. The American Overseas Chinese Chamber of Commerce research also reveals that international businesspeople are skeptical about Taiwan's future electricity supply. Many people are proud of TSMC's accomplishments and performance, and the company is even considered as a silicon shield capable of protecting Taiwan. Even with US-Japan cooperation to push breakthrough techniques over 2 nanometers, many people believe that TSMC will be tough to exceed. However, in the face of the US-Japan alliance, Taiwan should continue to consider carefully and respond. In certain ways, Taiwan is both powerful and weak in the semiconductor sector. TSMC has an unrivaled edge in wafer foundry and complete control over modern production processes. It is the unquestioned ruler. However, keep in mind that this is just in the realm of semiconductor production. Taiwan has no advantages in any connected upstream and downstream industries. For example, in the sector of semiconductor equipment, the United States, Japan, and Europe, particularly ASML, should have a distinct edge. American corporations also dominate IC design. Furthermore, keep in mind that Japanese businesses have an edge in several specific chemical coatings, and the industry refers to Japan as the silent hidden champion. As a result, if the United States and Japan truly join forces to push advanced semiconductor manufacturing methods beyond 2 nanometers, their trends must be continuously monitored. The United States and Japan were the first countries with a strong semiconductor foundation. The United States invented semiconductors and is the master of all sophisticated and critical technologies. Japan used to produce half of the world's semiconductors, and its potential should not be underestimated. After studying the material above, let's return to the question I posed at the beginning of the movie. Is it really conceivable for Apple to abandon TSMC and instead turn to Samsung or Intel at this point? In March, Apple debuted its latest computer, the Mac Studio, and the star of the show was the CPU chip at its heart. The chip, known as the M1 Ultra, is not new. It's held together by 2 of Apple's previously released M1 Max CPUs for improved performance. The M1 Max is found in high-end MacBook Pro laptops. The chip splicing technology is the M1 Ultra's most significant technological accomplishment. And the innovation might be terrible news for Intel, the resurgent chip titan. Apple has given this chip splicing technique the enticing internal moniker Ultra Fusion, but it is strongly reliant on TSMC's underlying chip-making process. TSMC has been Apple's long-term manufacturing partner, assisting the company in producing the processors that power iPhones, iPads, and Mac computers. According to analysts, Apple will be the first user of TSMC's new production technique. This might enable TSMC raise production capacity based on this technology and better refine the process, eventually serving other clients such as AMD and Nvidia with the new process. So yet, neither business has stated its intention to deploy the technology. Intel, on the other hand, is basing its recovery strategy on superior chip-making technologies. One of the innovative packaging technologies is Apple's Ultra Fusion. This method is used by companies such as TSMC and Intel to package many chips or chip modules into a single completed semiconductor. This method has proven essential for rapidly producing semiconductors while lowering production costs. The method is being employed in semiconductors for data center servers and high-end desktop computers, where it improves the economics of bigger circuits. The Apple M1 Ultra isn't TSMC's first venture into sophisticated packaging, but it's a technological subcategory that might grow more relevant in the future. Because Apple is TSMC's flagship customer and delivers a lot of goods, getting it right in Apple's chip offerings would help encourage other device makers to acquaint themselves with the technology. Overall, I'd like to add that, despite the war between 2 chip titans, the future of chip production remains bright. Do you concur with me? Thanks for watching our video. We would appreciate it if you subscribed our channel and gave us a thumb. See you.